Yo, welcome ladies and gentlemen to a very spicy episode of SarCAST. Boys and girls, you guys aren't ready. And before we start the video, I just want to say I'm very sorry for uploading this so late at night, but I will tell you the reason why in the first topic, okay? Well, in the second topic, actually. So we have a lot of news to talk about. I have a lot of opinions to give as well. You know, a lot of opinions that you guys may agree with, you guys may disagree with. But as usual, it's SarCAST, right? So just enjoy your time here, enjoy all the crazy drama happening, and let me know what you think as well, because, dude, literally, there's just drama piling up, and I had to just go and research a bit more to see exactly what every single party said for every single drama, every single little, to give you guys the most accurate news. And again, we will get into why I actually decided to push the SarCAST to a very late time, because I thought some big news would be coming up at 12 a.m. or midnight. So I blame you, Starlist, for missing the date, okay? But anyways, you'll get into that later. If you guys don't understand, it's completely fine. You probably don't understand the context yet. But we're going to be moving to our first topic, or starting with our first topic, which is Zane versus Dave drama. Now, this is very weird. Right after, by the way, before we get into Zane versus Dave, congratulations to Zane, Mob Zane. I was always the guy who has said in his streams that I trust Zane, right? I don't care what team he brings. I don't care what players he brings to the stage. He has that mentality and he has that leadership quality in him to build and to bring this team glory. His team and his teammates, right? So congratulations to Zane, an absolute banger of a grand finals, the best grand finals for Mobile Legends this year so far. We've gone a lot of 4-0s, 4-1s, hasn't been close at all in the grand finals. So props to obviously BTK, but you got to give props as well to Outplay for giving such a good fight and for giving us the best grand finals we've had this year so far. I've seen a lot of people throw hate at Outplay, at Basic, at Hoon, all the members, Shark as well. But you guys got to give them some respect as well, man. They played really well, despite them losing. It was a very close game in the end. Basic almost ended the game in the final split push moment. So there's still a lot of back and forth, and I think it was just a good finals. It was anybody's game. In the end, Zane and BTK, their mentality and their play is a bit smarter, is a bit better, and they were able to edge out the victory, right? So that's for, I guess, the first topic. We're gonna move now to the aftermath, which was the interesting part. It's kind of strange to say that the drama is the interesting part, because that was the best grand finals, but it had to be. It always has to be. A good thing will never come out of nowhere. There's always gonna be some negatives into it. Unfortunately, the negatives did hit. There were some really weird drama or beef going on, and it's between Zane and Dave. So I'm not going to show you the entire video, but I will paraphrase. Zane basically said in a live stream, right after getting back from NACT, that Dave is a snake. Zane, right after the win, was supposed to fill in the form instantly to lock his roster for MSC, right? And he didn't have 5 players. He said it many times before, even in the interview with Liz, I believe, before the NACT Grand Finals, that T and Yato might not be able to fly out to participate in MSC. Now, Dave, well, Moba Zane's assumption, from what I'm getting at right now, is that, Dave just is rooting for OP, and Dave is getting paid by OP, he's part of OP or something, because he's just trying to get OP to fly out and to represent NA for MSC instead of Zane. So he told Zane this late at night, I believe, or someone did tell Zane late at night, and Zane had to walk up to the room, to Dave's room, in the middle of the night when he was a bit drunk, I believe, and then he just knocked. He woke Dave's girlfriend up and they spoke about it. Zane doesn't want this to happen. Obviously, he wants to represent because he just beat OP. He put in everything, all the hard work to beat OP in the grand finals, to represent NA, and the fact that he's not going to be able to get that chance, I understand. I completely understand where Zane's coming from here. But for Dave as well, I don't think it's in Dave's hands, right? He is not the guy who makes the shots as to who represents NA. Obviously, that will be like discussed internally with Moonton and the people who are actually involved with all the representation or for NA side. I have no idea how it works there because I'm not from NA and I have zero clue. So maybe it is just like it's all just assumptions as well from me, because even from Dave, I asked him earlier today if he has a comment to say about all the drama right now, and he actually told me right now. I asked him, can I get your side of the story for the whole drama with Zane, bro? Oh, by the way, before we get into this, Zane has already said that he's sorry for calling Dave a snake, for shitting on Dave. There's a little bit of miscommunication going on between them with that whole drama, and obviously emotions got the better of them. So Dave already apologized. He already said sorry, but I asked Dave still for his side of the story, and this is what he told me, right? Wait for the official announcement. Now, his team is already looking into it at the moment, and he has nothing to share until a full investigation has been done. He also said that Zane has already made a full 180 reverse on his live stream just now, basically explaining everything he said was 100% false, and he apologized. But unfortunately, it's not going to end there. This issue could get real serious, is all I can say as well, because Dave has only given me a very brief description of what's actually going on, of what he's experiencing. So I hope nothing crazy happens here. I hope BTK can still represent NA. I hope everything goes smoothly. I hope there's no more drama here between them, and I hope they can resolve this without having to go to any other place. But that's all for the Zane versus Dave drama. My opinion here, I'm still very neutral because I still don't know what Dave's story is. He hasn't told me, so I can't really pick any sides right now. Zane has said a lot, but he's also reversed a few things. He's already said never mind, it's just miscommunication, etc. for a few of his points. So I think we'll leave this to another date. We'll see the conclusion of this whole drama, of this whole beef between them two, and we'll talk about it further later with the deets, right? Now, we're going to move on to the first topic, or the second topic, actually. This is a big one, like an actual big one. Vynn, farewell from RRQ. Thank you, Vynn. Season 4 to Season 11. This guy's an RRQ legend. I think everybody knows. Whether you like him or you hate him, you can't deny the fact that he is a legend, and he's given so much to this team. And it's sad to see a legend leave the team. Before he was in RRQ, he was in Bigatron. And he was able to have a lot of good moments as well in Bigatron. So right now, there are rumors, especially because of this, Starlest, the CEO of Bigatron Alpha, he said today there's going to be an announcement at 23:59, which is basically midnight. Now, that's what I was waiting for, guys. That's why I pushed this SarCAST, the recording of the SarCAST, all the way to midnight. So I'm very sorry to every single one of you who actually, waited. I woke up, I saw this at noon, and then this came out. So I was like, you know what? Might as well just wait for 23:59 in case something big happens. Because this and this happened pretty close together, right? So I'm thinking maybe Vynn is going to Bigatron. That is a very crazy thing. But remember, before Vynn was in RRQ, he was in Bigatron. And you can hate him again. You can obviously be a hater. Vynn definitely has a lot of haters, especially after his Season 11 performance. But I think he can still perform in a pro team. I think he can still perform in MPL. I think he's still a very, very good professional player with potential. Yes, with potential. I think in Indonesia, mostly, a lot of people look at like a person's age and they'll say, oh, this guy's old. He's not going to progress. He's not going to improve. He doesn't have any more potential. He's reached his cap. But I think that's an absolute myth. I think that is something that has been debunked so many times before. And to see an example of that, we can just take a look at PH, right? I think PH has a very good mix of rookies and experienced veterans. Few has been playing for so long, man. Like, VYs has been playing. They represented PH for M1 when they were at Onyx PH, right? We have a lot of these old, quote unquote, old members, old players still playing at tip-top form in the highest level of international MLBB and domestic MLBB. Age is not, like, it is a factor, definitely. As you get older, sure. But at their age right now, 24, 25, in Indonesia, you see 24, 25, and most Indonesians will think, hey, he's old, he's garbage, he's not going to improve, he's going to be dog shit. I'm sorry to say, man, but that's bullshit. I really disagree with that. I think if you look at other games, other esport titles, in CSGO, we got people who are 30, about to be 40, in their mid-30s, dude. They're dads, they have a family, they have everything, and they can still win majors, they can still win international tournaments. And again, in sports, an actual, like, physical sport, people are playing up like Ronaldo's 40, bro. I don't get it, right? If you're physically able to play football at the highest level at 40, at 38, at 39, you can play a game competitively for some more time. Maybe not to the level of football, 40, 45, but 25 is still so far away from that. I don't understand why people think it's over. Like a career, the person's potential and career is gone just because of that. So yes, I think Vynn can still play professionally. I think his shot calling is still one of the best, if not the best, in Indonesia, only rivaled by most probably Beloyski right now in MPL ID. So I'm really interested to see how that'll work, how they will play, and where he will go. I really hope he doesn't retire, and I really hope we don't get baited by Starlist here. I hope it's actually Vynn who joins BTR. As a BTR fan, hey man, very open to Vynn. Homecoming, welcome back home, bro. Get some international titles with BTR. Okay, but we're moving on to the next topic. And man, this one's pretty sad. We're getting through all the sad ones first, and then we will talk about a very interesting one. So please stay tuned. After this topic, we got the biggest topic. Everything is big, but we got the biggest topic after this one. Falcon disbanding after SEA Games is something that has been, teased by a lot of the Falcon members in interviews. Ken, Justin have said in interviews with the media at SEA Games after their bronze medal victory that they do not have a team, that Falcon might be disbanding, that they might be just all free agents, right? And even some of them have been actually offered by international teams. This is so sad to me, especially because I've been a kind of a Falcon fan. I predicted them to get to the grand finals. We know how that went. That didn't go well. They didn't get to the grand finals, but still, I love the guys here. They are so friendly. The Myanmar squad, the Burmese squad, they're so friendly. Ken walked up to me at MSC and he said he watches my streams. He really enjoys my casts, and I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Justin, the whole crew, they're so cool, they're so good, and I always hang out with them in international events. And it's sad to see that, I'm not going to be able to see them again in international events, at least for the next two, maybe. I really hope they get a team, especially after their SEA Games performance. I think, yes, they got bronze, but a lot of us can agree that Myanmar is, in terms of just skill and power rankings, above Malaysia. I think they are actually second. I think they would have been able to get silver if it was a double elimination format. I think they would have actually been able to crawl back up to the grand finals to meet Philippines, because we saw, I think the only team who gave Philippines a run for their money in the playoffs, the playoffs, was Myanmar. 2-1. Even in that final game, it was Flapteasy who made a crucial 3-man petrify play to turn the tides. Falcon had a 6,000 gold lead, I believe. They were winning. That was the point. So this is a team that has always been able to compete and contest the Filipino teams, the Indonesian teams, all the big powerhouses in international events. And it's just really sad to see that they are going to be disbanding and we're not going to be seeing these members. I really hope that, they find new teams. If it's in Myanmar, sure. If it's in Malaysia, Philippines, Indonesia, wherever they are, I want to see them play. I do not want to see them stop. I don't want to see their careers just disappear like that. Next one. Oh man. Okay. This one is the biggest topic. Okay. This one is a big topic. This has to do with Indonesia's SEA Games performance and the governing body, or the head of the governing body of esports in Indonesia, Mr. Frankie Ong. So I'll be reading it out first, and then I will be chiming in. I'll be telling you guys what I think about every single thing he says. And yes, we're going to be going for it right now. So Frankie Ong, he likes to do this ever since MPL season 11, right after, the governing body started to get involved with MPL Indonesia. He started making a lot of these stories, and this is one of them. After the SEA Games performance and after all the SEA Games performance for all the other esport titles, right? He says that there's going to be a deep evaluation for the MLBB men's national team that will be done. This is a big lesson for. It's a very, very good lesson for all the Indonesians to progress the esports scene in Indonesia, right? One of the ways to do that is to reevaluate the esports league in Indonesia to give more open chances to everyone, players, coaches, clubs, and the whole Indonesia, to give them more of a chance and make it a bit more healthy. All right, so basically that's the gist of it. We're going to be moving on to another topic here. This is, yes, okay. We're just going to be reading his response here, all right? Because I think this is what gets interested, okay? What gets interesting, my bad. All right, so this is a very long text, so let me just read it through and give you guys the gist, all right? Basically, this country is a democracy, so he can also say whatever he wants. He can criticize, he can give opinions, so completely agree with that. I think even with this tweet right here, or this story, I agree. I think giving, or having a qualifiers would be amazing, like how Cebol is doing it, how Philippines is doing it. Just make a qualifiers that is open to everyone, right? There's an open qualifiers, there's obviously going to be invited MPL teams, and all of them get to face each other, and then you can see this, you can go for the selection based on the performance of all these teams. I completely agree with that. I think that gives everyone a fair chance. It gives people who aren't even in MPL a chance to represent Indonesia if they're good enough. And hey, I'm all up for that. This one was a very good tweet by him. Or I keep on saying tweet, it's a story. But then here is where I really, really disagree. He basically says that, all right, here it is. MLBB esports in Indonesia, we send a whole team, they lose at M4, right? 2 Indonesian teams, whole teams, they lose at M4. They try to make an all-star team, select these players, and this select all-star team loses to Myanmar, a country with no MPL. And to add on to that, losing to Cambodia, a country with an open qualifiers MPL, not franchise yet, right? And then they were given 7 players, but Keyboy and Vynn didn't get to play. You got 2 assistant coaches, but Achil, his opinions weren't heard at all. This is what he says. They've already done an internal investigation. Even the captain was blaming people right after the game. Maybe they think representing Indonesia isn't important for them, and because of that, he's basically asking here, what's MPL for? What's the franchise league for? Is it for the country? Is it for Indonesia? Or is it for the clubs to get rich? Is it for the organizations that are in the franchise league to get rich? Poor clubs cannot participate in MPL. So are they, why can't they join? Why can't the smaller teams, the poor teams join, right? Or is it because it's only for a selective market? A closed competition is not good. If it's like this is an idle competition. It's not a competition where you actually make warriors who will represent their country properly, etc. Basically, that's the point. Basically, his point, to sum it all up, because I was reading, I'm sorry if it was kind of confusing, is he's saying that a closed MPL, a franchise league MPL, is not a good way to take on a league, because it doesn't give a fair chance to the other teams, like the poorer teams, etc. Right? And we have seen poor results from Indonesia, from a full team in M4 and from a select all-star team. So his point is open competition is better. Malaysia, Cambodia, open qualifiers and they have relegation system. Okay, I'll try to dispute this right now. Again, he is entitled to his own opinion. He can say whatever he wants. I will listen, and I will also just give my opinion, right? Obviously, this is also just my opinion. Firstly, to just rebuke that statement, yes, okay, open qualifiers are cool. I agree. That it's very entertaining to see relegated teams having to fight for their spot again, blah, blah, blah. It's very healthy for the competition. I completely agree. But is it healthy for the organizations? Is it healthy for the players? Is it healthy for everyone involved in the esports scene in that country? We've seen in Malaysia just a very, very good example of Madness Esports not paying their players. Someone running away, regulations not in place completely because it's not a full franchise league. They're not bound by any regulations. Well, they are bound by some regulations, but it can't be too tight because it's not a franchise league. It is an open league where anyone can compete. And this has happened many, many times before. Players who are not safe, basically in the esports world where they can get fucked completely by the contracts. They can get fucked completely by poorer organizations or just, shady organizations who want to join esports but don't want to actually give the players what they need or what they actually deserve, right? That's just one of the points because, again, open qualifiers are cool. But guess what? The team that has been dominant, the team or the country that has gotten a close qualifier ever since they got a franchise league in Season 7, right? After Season 7, so Season 8, MPL PH. After Season 8, they have not lost a single international event after the franchise league starts. So that's that's some good proof as well as to how a franchise league can actually elevate the teams in that country to invest more, to get more revenue so that they can get the ecosystem running way better, regulations in place so that the players will be pretty cool there as well. They're all going to be good. They don't need to be scared if the organization might fuck them or anything, right? And then also there's a point to be made about just the MPL teams in Indonesia. Sure, we've always fallen short against Philippines. I don't think that's an absolute failure though, right? We've always been second to the Philippines. That's the whole thing. We've always been second. We haven't been losing to Cambodia, losing to Myanmar every single year. We haven't been a no-medal team in SEA Games every single SEA Games. We got to look into it like this. Sure, open qualifiers are great. If the other teams outside of MPL can actually compete with the MPL teams, we would have seen that by now. PLR President is a very good example to, as a counter argument for this whole issue, for this point that he's making that open qualifiers are better. They already had an open qualifiers. They gave a lot of opportunities for MDL teams, for open qualifier teams, community teams, right? Who are not in the MDL, who are not in the MPL. And guess what? They get battered. They get completely destroyed by not the MPL teams, the MDL teams. And the MDL teams get absolutely shit on by the MPL teams. The franchise league is still a healthy system. Why? It's not a system where these organizations want to get profit. Obviously, they're a business, right? And they won't just get shitty players because they know the guys. They're not going to just keep old players because they give, they're more popular. They're going to keep these players if they're better than the players who are getting recruited, who are trialing to get in, who are open to trial. The trials for every single one of these teams have been open for such a long time. The franchise league, MPL, MDL. Everybody gets an equal chance here, but they're just not able to compete with the people who are in MPL. And proof of that is, again, in PLR President, the open community teams do not get far at all in the tournament. They get completely shat on. So I don't agree with the statements that Mr. Frankie is making here in open qualifiers versus closed qualifiers. Is it going to be more healthy? I don't think so right now for the ecosystem. If it's already like football, if it's the biggest football, if we have enough viewers and we can't actually afford for these teams to go for it, when the teams can actually risk that much money and be safe, sure. But we're still in a very early stage in esports, very early stage in Mobile Legends esports. And we got to give them time to develop that before we can actually push that relegation system and everything. Because, again, with everything I've said, there's way more downside towards an open qualification kind of league compared to a closed or franchise league, because it guarantees more revenue for everyone, and that's how you keep a growing esport to grow. Slowly but surely we'll get there, right? We can't expect us to suddenly be in the level of football in every single department. And also, this is another very good point that I just thought of. Also, that's why I kind of paused. MDL has open like qualifiers now. They have open qualifiers. They have everything. They're doing the hashtag esports for everyone movement. And some of these community teams have actually already joined MDL. And guess what? They get battered. They get destroyed by the MDL teams who already have an MPL team. Like Bigatron Beta, their MDL team. Even in PH is happening. Echo, Loud, won MDL. So again, franchise league, they will get the best players out there. They will get the best Indonesian players out there. They will trial every single member or every single player who trials, and they will get the best. So it is still pretty healthy. I don't think it's unhealthy. I don't think it's toxic. I don't think it's... Yeah, that's my point. Yeah. Sorry, got kind of heated. I'm very passionate about esports in Indonesia, and I just got to give my opinion out there. Obviously, you guys can chime in as well in the comment section, whether you agree with Mr. Frankie Ong, whether you agree with me, or you have your own opinion. But this is where it kind of gets sussy for me too, is the fact that, he said earlier that there are 2 assistant coaches for the team, and he's heard that Achill's words or Achill's opinions didn't get heard at all by Zeys. So Zeys has already came out with a statement as well. He basically apologizes here to everyone, to the governing body of Indonesia, to the Indonesian people, to everyone affected, right? Obviously, for the SEA Games performance. And then he says that he just called Adi, Coach Achill, and Achill just confirmed that he never said anything of the sort. He never said that his opinion was not heard. So there are some very, very glaring inconsistencies already here from Achill, Zeys, and Mr. Frankie Ong's statements. I don't know what to trust right now, but again, it's just really strange, and I don't think, I think this is very unhealthy for Indonesian MLBB, having drama like this. And to add on to that, again, it doesn't end, guys. It just doesn't end. Mr. Frankie Ong posted again, dissing MPL Indonesia, saying thank you to the PUBG Mobile Indonesian national team. You guys are heroes who are born in an open professional competition that is open to public, not in a competition for idols that is limited. Basically, shitting on MPL, and also they're saying, yes, he's saying that MLBB women, etc. The open qualifiers, yeah. Even that's basically what he said. Yeah, I think for me personally as well, SEA Games Indonesia, it failed I think it failed because of the system. I think it failed because of the selection system. I think it failed because almost all of them fucked up. Almost all of them made blunders. Coach, players, all of the team. The team made a lot of blunders. I don't think we can blame MPL for this. I personally don't think we can blame MPL for this. I think next year we could definitely do a qualifier again. All this, the rebuttals that I've been making, it doesn't change the fact that I still agree with his first tweet here. For the national team, I think it's completely fine to have an open qualifier where we get to see the potential of every single player, of every single coach, of every single team. I agree. But all the other statements here about, closed qualifier, etc., not a big fan of that. So yeah, we're going to be moving on to the next topic. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. This is another one. This is I think it's a very small one, but it is something that's going on in Indonesia. So if you guys don't know, there are a lot of streamers in Indonesia who are big, who sometimes get donations sent to them by gambling websites. Yes, gambling is a big problem in Indonesia. I think it's a big problem everywhere. It is also illegal in Indonesia. So they get donations these gambling websites donate to a lot of the Indonesian streamers, right? So Udil, and usually they just say thank you. They just say thank you, and they say, wow, I got a large sum of money. Thank you. Just as any streamer would respond to a donation. So Udil, player of Alter Ego, you guys probably know him. He's a Kage. He's a very religious dude, and he's been a stand-up guy. He's always been like an absolute top G. He said this in his stream. He says that he doesn't actually open his donations because he can't do that personally. Personally, he cannot actually like accept money from gambling websites, from things that are haram. Things that are haram are, I don't know how to explain haram, but you can Google what haram means. It's basically kind of like illegal to his religion. I don't know. It's like haram is what you're not supposed to be doing. Like eating pork is haram. It's a Muslim term, right? So Udil basically says that, and a lot of the streamers actually got offended by this, and they started dissing Udil, etc. And I'll give my opinion right now. I think this is such a pathetic, very pathetic drama going on, pathetic beef going on. Like Udil stating his opinion, while the others are also stating their opinions. But I don't know. I think it's just like it's so small, but it's getting elevated to such a high level right now by everyone. I don't see why it's such a big problem. Udil has his principles and he will follow through to his principles like he's always done before. And it's not the streamer's fault that they get donated by these people, right? I mean, yeah, I think for both these parties, there's a lot of miscommunication from Udil and from the other streamers. And I hope this doesn't happen again. I hope everybody gets to chill, everybody gets to talk and, hash this out, because it's really, really a very mild, small little thing that Udil said. I don't think anyone should be offended by it. And likewise, I think Udil shouldn't be offended. He's a top G, an absolute top G for that, for his own principle. And I can't do that, right? I'll open my donation because, hey, I think I'll enjoy money, anyone's money. It's a donation, right? I can't control your donation. But yeah. That's about it for the SarCAST. Even though it's a very hot topic, SarCAST, even though there's a lot of topics to talk about, we managed to talk about it in 31 minutes and 32 minutes. So it's great. I think it's a good time to end the SarCAST as well. I think this SarCAST is going to be big because I want to see your opinions. Mostly, I want to be reading the chat. I want to be, comment section. I want to be reading what you guys think about the whole thing. And let me know what you think of, if you agree with my statements, if you agree with Mr. Frankie Ong's statement, if you agree with Dave, Moba Zane, whose side are you taking? Even the last one, would you actually take money? Would you open your donations to take money from illegal websites, from haram things, or would you actually be like Udil and be like, nah, I don't want that, So a lot of things for you guys to interact with me. I would love to hear your opinions. And again, everything I said here is just an opinion, my own opinion, based on what I think. So hope you guys can appreciate that as well. Hope you guys can respect that as well. I'll try my best to respect your opinions. Opinions are like assholes. Sometimes they're shitty, but everyone has them. Peace out, boys.